This is KFDM Sports Extra with Mike Friedman and Cam Sanderson.
Hey, that's right, everyone. Welcome in to the KFDM Sports Extra podcast. I am Mike Friedman along with Cam Sanderson, and we are in week 10 of the high school football season. Can you believe how fast this has gone, Cam?
Oh, yeah. It's
crazy,
unbelievable.
Man.
I mean, I've done a few seasons of it, but it is every season. It's like, I know you've done a few seasons, right?
Just a few.
You're right.
Just a few.
Every season, it just feels like, man, it just goes by too quick. It's definitely my favorite time of the year.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. We look forward to it all summer long and all the off season, really. And then for it to go by so fast, that's pretty crazy. All right, we're going to start off right off the top with our top six, a new top six here for us at KFDM. We're KFDM Channel 6, and that's why we have a top six, if you missed our previous podcast and how we explain that. But here's our new top six for week 10 of the high school football season. And I'll start off. I'll go with my number six, and it's the Hardin Hornets. Hardin, for no reason moving
down.
No, for no reason moving down. It's just I had another team that moved into my top six. They have since moved out. It was the Silsbee Tigers. So Silsbee moved in, and I didn't want to put them above Hardin. Hardin's moved down just because I have a few teams that are above them now. Hardin's has no reason not to be in my top six.
Yeah.
They're undefeated. They're looking at a perfect 10-0 season and a first district championship since 1974. So Hardin Hornets, my number 6 team.
Yeah, that's fair. For me at number 6, I got to add them back. They were in my top 6 to start the year. They are finally back in it. West Orange Stark. Big win against Silsbee.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
like big as in like huge lead, but big as in it was a must-win game if you want to win district. They get their game against Tarkington this week, and they'll see Hampshire Finette at home to finish the season. But they are set up in a position to win their district, and they really did look on top of the world. It's nice to see them have a little bounce back. Obviously, they struggled to open the year, 0-2 start, but since they hit district, I mean, it's been lights out football, and that's exactly what you need.
Great point, and I considered West Orange Stark as well.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and go to your fifth.
Yeah, I moved to number 5. I got LCM.
Nice.
What a win for the Battling Bears on Friday. You go into Bridge City, and I mean, it was a close game, but it was 17-0 at half, I believe. And so this was a team that was winning comfortably. I believe the final was 24-16, so Bridge City started to come back, but LCM to go on the road against a team that hasn't lost all year and take them down, there was questions when LCM started 0-3.
Sure.
They're on an undefeated run in district. They are slated to win a district championship, the first time in program history going back to back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good for them. They are looking amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there. I'll have LCM here in just a bit, but I've got Bridge City. They did drop down a little bit for me from their loss, but you have to remember they were undefeated up until then. They did make they did try and come back against LC. They fell behind early and did try and make a comeback there. I think the one loss, I'd rather get it out of the way now for Bridge City than in a couple of weeks when one loss means the end of your season. So they got the loss out of the way. They certainly have the talent with Mungia, Hudson Hoffman, a quarterback there. They've certainly got the talent to go far and do well. We'll get to some of our teams that we think are going to go far, our district picks, and teams we think we're going to go far in the playoffs here in just a little bit on this podcast. But Bridge City coming in at number 5. In at number 4 for me, it's those LCM Battling Bears, and for a lot of the same reasons as you said. They beat a team that had previously been unbeaten, and that's not easy to do. Bridge City's not accustomed to losing, and LCM handled that pretty well. Like you said, they started the season the exact same way they started last year, losing all their non-district games and then going undefeated through district play. They still have 2 more games to go, I get that, but they look like they're poised to repeat as that, and for the first time in program history, be back-to-back district champs. So congratulations to them, LCM Battling Bears, coming into number 4 for me.
Yeah, for me at number 4, I got a team that's been in my top 6, I guess, for this is their second straight week, but the Hardin Hornets, I got them moving up. They're still undefeated, Mike.
Sure.
I'm messing with you because we both had a lot of times instances this year where we moved teams down, maybe we didn't want to.
For no reason, really.
Just because other teams have to move up.
Right.
Hardin looks great, and it's good that they've continued to look great. Nothing makes me happier than the small town getting a good football team run.
Right.
And, I mean, when you look at that banner and you see 2 program district championships ever, and they're sitting here looking to win their first since 74.
Right.
Oh, man, that gets me riled up. So I'm happy for them. They look great. They've continued to be amazing. And so, man, they moved up. They moved up to number 4 for me. So
Well said. Long time coming for the Hardin Hornets.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. For me, at number 3, hey, they're not going anywhere. The Newton Eagles. They can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
They're beating teams by 70.
Yeah.
You know, you don't do that on accident.
Well, hey, they only scored 62 last year.
Well, never mind. Maybe I should have moved them down. No, I think, I believe that was 62-0.
Yeah.
They won 72-0, I think, the week before.
Yes.
So you're talking about 0 points allowed in 100.
And they're 72-point favorites against Warren this week.
It's just unbelievable because that's just how good Newton football is. And so, yeah, good for them. They're going to continue to be great. I'm never going to pick against Newton. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, that's all. Because we say it every week. What more can you say about Newton football other than it's Newton football?
Right. The only thing I will add, go ahead and reveal my number 3. It's the Newton Eagles. The only thing I will add is they haven't lost a district game since 2012.
Yeah.
Since 2012, 84 straight district wins for the Newton Eagles. And Newton knows how to play football for sure.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
All right, we're going to reveal our top 2 all at once here because this hasn't changed, at least for me, for weeks. This is the 8th straight week I've had Port Arthur Memorial 1 and PNG 2. They're both undefeated. You can say 1A and 1B. Sure, that's fine. I mean, PNG has every argument to be number 1. Mm-hmm. Port Arthur Memorial does as well, and I'm keeping Memorial in my top spot. Yeah. We'll reveal yours here in a minute. But Port Arthur Memorial, they're 9-0. They don't have a Week 11 game. They can get to 10-0 coming up this Friday. I think they will. A 10-0 season is not something to take lightly at all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
An undefeated regular season for the Port Arthur Memorial Titans. They belong at number 1 there for me. PNG with a fantastic performance in Mid-County Madness.
Yeah.
All that pressure in that game, the atmosphere was incredible. It was a great situation there, and PNG dominated Nederland in that one. So they don't move down or anything like that. For me, they have every reason to be there.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's fair.
Well.
That's fair. I like the way you kept pitching to me. I will say you kind of made it sound like I might have changed something.
Yeah,
I didn't.
He did.
I did not change anything. I agree. PNG absolutely played Mid-County Madness better than any team has. I think it was 92 I saw was the last time there was a blowout this big. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, dominant performance by them. Killed it on the run game, and that's what they have to do. That's one of the points you can wrinkle with Port H is that's exciting is they can dominate on the run game, and when they can't, they got a third-year starting quarterback who can sling it.
Yeah.
So it's like they have all the exciting pieces as well. That O-line, I believe, is the best O-line in Southeast Texas, and they have one of the better defenses. Arguably, I'd say these 2 top teams are the 2 best defenses. And so,
for sure.
But with Port Arthur, to add kind of what you said, they've already locked the district championship.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They will win the district championship. And so they've got that unlocked. PNG might not get that. They play a tough Montgomery team this week, and I'm not going to pick against PNG, but I will let you know, I know for sure Memorial's walking away with the district championship.
Right.
And they've continued to look amazing. We talk about this off camera, but I feel like every week I'm like, oh, this could be the test. This could be the test. And they're beating the teams by 30. And it's like, God, they just, what was it, Lufkin 30-0?
Yes.
They didn't allow a single point
right.
to Lufkin.
Right.
I mean, this team looks amazing. I do think it's still 1A, 1B, but I do feel like they're a comfortable 1A. Maybe it's 1A, 1C.
I agree.
I do think that I think Port Arthur's the number 1
There
team.
was a time during this season where, and we even picked it as our game of the week, Westbrook at Port Arthur Memorial. And we thought Westbrook could compete, and it showed you kind of the level Memorial's at and the level some other teams are at.
Yeah. And I mean, that was a good game for Westbrook. I will say Westbrook probably played them better than any other team has.
Right.
They
So
let
far
it
in the
have.
district.
They
Yeah,
let it
so
have.
far in
How
the
many
district,
teams
yeah.
have led Port Arthur to have? I don't know. I mean, it's unbelievable. Every week, hey, this could be a test, and it never is. And so I hope they carry that throughout the postseason. That is the concern, is the only team that can beat Port Arthur is themselves.
And the Achilles heel for Port Arthur Memorial is the playoffs.
Yeah.
They win their district, they get to host a first-round playoff game, and then whatever it is, when they play another team out of another district like that, they stumble. So let's hope that doesn't happen this year.
Oh, yeah. I hope they make a run. I'd like to see them in AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, that sure would be
That
nice.
would be great.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, that's our new top 6 for Week 10 of the high school football season. If you're listening wherever you listen to podcasts, you can go check out our YouTube channel, news on KFDM.com, and you're able to see kind of the graphics that we're making here as we're revealing our teams for our new top 6 here for Week 10. Hey, we'll be back. We're going to talk about some district races and some teams we think are going to make a run once the playoffs start. Stay close. The KFDM Sports Extra podcast will be back right after this.
Southeast Texans are passionate about their hometown team. Fully loaded with more scores, more interviews, and more games.
Follow us on Facebook, Insta, X, and KFDM.com.
Get the most complete coverage of your favorite Friday night rivalries.
Classic Southeast Texas presents the Friday Night Tailgate Party. Brought to you by 5 Point Credit Union. Catch it every Friday after KFDM 6 News at 10.
All right, we're back. Thanks for listening to the KFDM Sports Extra podcast, or watching if you're watching on our YouTube page. News on KFDM on YouTube as well. And click on podcasts, and you'll be able to see not only this one, but you'll be able to see all of the podcasts. This is our 10th one, by the way.
Yeah,
we started with the high school
double
football season.
digits. Look at that.
We reached 10.
That's really cool.
Happy 10.
When will we hit 100?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not any more weeks.
All right, but we're going to talk about some district races, as we've only got two games left in the regular season. For some teams only have one game left here in Week 10. And we'll start off in our biggest district, District 9-5A Division 1. Port Arthur Memorial, as you mentioned earlier, Cam, they're going to run away with this district.
Yeah, they got it unlocked.
Yeah, they're 5-0. With one game to go. They're going to finish 6-0, and they're going to win the district outright with an undefeated season. You've got Barbers Hill in second right now, Baytown Sterling, and Lufkin,
and Beaumont
United. Yeah, so the next 2 weeks are gonna really decide, I guess, the other three playoff spots there in that district. You would think maybe Barbers Hill will lock up second. Between Sterling and United and Lufkin, those final two playoff spots will go between, two of those three teams. All right, so, Anyway, so let's go ahead and take a look, if we can, who we think's going to have the best success out of this district. District 9-5A Division 1.
I'm going to move it over.
We've made a little graphic here if you're watching on YouTube. News on KFDM on YouTube. And we both think, Port Arthur Memorial.
Yeah. I mean,
no reason to think that they're not going to do well. I mean, they did well during the regular season. They've won. They're going to win 10 straight games. I'm assuming they're going to win this week. It's probably a safe assumption. I don't know if I'm going to. Yeah. Anyway, so Port Arthur Memorial. The thing is, they've got to get over that hump of that first playoff game here at home.
Yeah.
So if they can do that, I really think that they have the talent. They certainly have the talent to do well.
Deep.
And remember, we talked about this earlier on a podcast. Coach Brian Morgan gave up the athletic director position at Port Arthur Memorial. Andre Bevel is now the athletic director and has to deal with all of the stuff that comes with that. And so Coach Morgan could just focus on football. Maybe that will be the difference in leading these Titans to some great success once the playoffs start.
It could be.
Let's hope so.
This team, exactly. Yeah. This team has all the makings of playing football in December. There's no doubt about that. And it would be, honestly, I can say it confidently, it would be a disappointment if they weren't playing in December.
Yes.
10-0 means nothing if you're not playing for a state championship.
Correct.
And, especially at a program like Port Arthur.
Right.
There's other schools that could celebrate a district championship and remember that for years. Memorial is not that school.
Right.
And I think they know that, and I'm sure the community knows that. They expect to be competing far. I would be shocked if this isn't the team that makes the run. I think that you mentioned that where Brian Morgan can focus completely on football, but the talent that is on this team, that is like, you got Brock King, Tank King, Amante Martin.
Sure.
There's
Alex
so many
Eugene.
guys. Alex Eugene.
Yeah,
There's so many guys all around on both sides of the ball that are just going to dominate. They're going to keep dominating. And I expect them to make that run, make that much-needed run that they haven't made in recent years.
Absolutely. I agree with you. All right, we'll go back to our trusty website, Max Preps.
Yeah, Max Preps.
By the way, gives us some district looks right there.
Thank you, Max Preps.
And there's District 9-5A Division 1. Port Arthur Memorial going to run away with this one. Let's go ahead and look at 8-5A Division 2.
Yeah.
PNG and Montgomery. They play each other. PNG's at Montgomery this week. We'll talk about that in just a little bit here later in this podcast. Both are 5-0 in district play. PNG, I think, is going to be able to take care of business. I think they're going to win this district back-to-back. Or three straight?
It'd be 3 straight.
3 straight.
Yeah.
3 straight district championships for the PNG Indians, and there's no reason to think that they're not going to do well. Once the postseason play, they've got all the experience in doing that as well. All right, so we can go back to our other graphic
straight to the graphic, because I think, like you mentioned, there's no reason for either one of us to think anybody else in this district, especially when we only have 2 local teams. And,
right, sure.
It appears that only one of those local teams
is
will
going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Easy pick.
Yeah, easy pick for PNG to go. They've been to state. They were they went to the regional championship last year, won state the year before, lost in the state championship game the year before. So they've made some lengthy playoff runs. Do they have enough to get over South Oak Cliff? They're still in that same region. Redistricting, realignment actually will come in February. So let's see if they get back into Region 3 instead of Region 2. But they're still in that region with South Oak Cliff. So they won't meet South Oak Cliff for a state championship anymore. Yeah. They'll meet them in a regional championship for the right to go to state. So last year, well, Sauk got the better of PNG. Let's see if PNG can return the favor this year, huh?
Yeah, hopefully
Realignment.
Oh my goodness, couldn't say it. Hopefully that fixes this because that I don't, whatever. I'm not
Nobody likes that.
I'm not going to go on a rant about this, but I have a lot to say.
Sure.
PNG, like we just mentioned, how great of a team this. We just came off talking about these last two teams. We know how good they are.
Yeah.
PNG has consistently, though, been that postseason team from Southeast Texas. At least if you look back at the past 5 years, PNG is the team to look at.
Yeah.
Obviously, South Oak Cliff was not how they wanted to finish last year. But, I mentioned I talked to a PNG coach last week, before their game against Mid-County Madness. But one thing he told me about this team compared to last year's team is the level of confidence they have in themselves.
Great.
It is completely different than last year. He said last year was a little different. You could see it in them, but this year they are ready for any challenge, and I fully believe it. Connor Bailey, I trust. I'm gonna go with that guy. I think he's
been there, done it.
He's beaten South Oak Cliff.
Yes.
He's probably the only. He is the only quarterback in PNG history to say he's beaten South Oak Cliff. And he's. I think he can do it again. I think that team can do it again because they do what they do best every year. They still got that defense that's tough. They still have that O-line that can, leave you any opening. I made their O-line player of the week,
Right.
an entire unit player of the week because of just how great they are. And I think that they have the makings to beat South Oak Cliff. Once again, it's a team I hope I'm at AT&T Stadium recording come state championship time.
Yeah, we all hope that as well. Yeah, for sure. All right. We'll move now into District 10 4A Division 1. That's the team with LCM, Bridge City, and others in that one. The LCM Batlin Bears, they took care of business last week. So they're in line to win the district unless they stumble here in the final 2 weeks. But I doubt that'll happen. So LCM will win the district. Bridge City and Lumberton tied for second in this district right here.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And also Huffman.
So I know Bridge City will have the tiebreaker over Lumberton because they did beat them head-to-head. I believe Bridge City still has to face Huffman.
Right.
That's when it gets interesting because Lumberton has the win over Huffman. Bridge City has the win over Lumberton.
Right.
And so if Huffman gets the win over Bridge City, that's going to be fun to see how that district falls.
Okay.
But I do think that I'm not going to pick against Bridge City. I wouldn't, ever. And so I do think that they'll be able to lock in that second spot, and Lumberton at third and Huffman at fourth. That is our 4 playoff teams. It's pretty clear at this point.
Locked up.
You're either 4-1 or
2 games to go.
reversed.
You're 4-1 or 1-4.
Yeah,
and that is how it's going to be. All right, so let's look at who we think is going to have the best playoff success out of District 10 4A Division 1. If you're watching on YouTube, news on KFDM on YouTube.
I'll let you go first.
We've got our graphic right here. All right, you're just going to reveal mine because we are different here in this one. I do think out of 10 4A Division 1, the Bridge City Cardinals are going to go far in the playoffs. They have the talent to do it.
Absolutely.
They have the coach to do it as well. That's not a knock on the LCM Batlin Bears who are going to win this district or Coach Peavy at all. I think he's
state championship coach. Yeah, absolutely.
A fantastic coach right there. Coach Peavy has led Westbrook to the state championship before he left for LCM. So yeah, absolutely. I just think that Bridge City has the talent. They're going to have. I don't want to say experience, but they've got the right kind of mixture, I think, that could have success once the postseason play comes around. They won't know a whole lot about their opponents as you start moving on past the by-district into the area and things like that. You get into kind of some regional championships and things like that, and you're going to see some teams you're not very familiar with. And I think Bridge City's talent alone will stand up against anybody.
I think that's completely fair. And I every time I talk about Bridge City, it's hard for me not to mention that passing game. I think they're the best passing team in Southeast Texas. I keep saying that over and over again. And that's one of those things when you get in the playoffs, there's going to be a lot of teams that can run the ball good, but there's not a lot of teams that can pass the ball great.
Yeah.
And that's what Bridge City does. They are amazing when it comes to the passing game. And, guys like Abraham Mungia, he is not only going to be a threat receiving, but we've seen him already be a threat in the special teams because he's shifty, he's small, and he's quick. And so they do have the pieces, absolutely. We had a couple times this time where we disagreed, and part of that was because I want to be a little different.
Okay.
I don't want to be necessarily the same as you.
All right,
this
so
one
here's Cam being different.
is a little crazy. I think some people might think it's crazy. I'm going to put the Lumberton Raiders here.
Okay.
I think
this means he thinks Lumberton's going to have the best playoff success out of any team out of this district.
I think
They're
they
going to go
can.
the farthest.
I think they can.
Okay.
Because I do believe in that rushing duo they got. Nick Craddock, Chase Williams is unbelievable. And it has shown up over their 4-game winning streak in district.
They certainly have clicked.
And that's another thing that you have to mention, though, is that clicking. They are on a winning streak. They are hot right now.
Sure.
They beat a Huffman-Hargrave team they weren't supposed to beat. No one picked them to win that game.
Sure.
And that's when they started shocking the state.
Right.
That rushing duo, I got to watch it in person. I do believe it's one of the best. It might be second best in the area behind Port Arthur, but it is an amazing duo in the backfield. And then Nolan Mitchell, who is a great quarterback.
Sure.
They don't even have to use him right now. And when they do, I feel pretty confident he's going to be able to get it done. So I think they have exactly what they need. They're getting hot at the right time.
Right.
They're warming up for that little bit of run. And once you hit the postseason, as long as you can keep your stride, they're going to be in a good spot.
Not bad points at all. I completely agree with you. Much like LCM, they kind of got better as the season's going on. And so, they've got a great win streak going. Can they finish second in the district? Depends on what Bridge City and Huffman do.
Exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see where they land in the playoffs and what path they take. But they certainly have a chance. Much like last year, we'll get to 9-4A Division II. But Jasper was the 4th place team out of that district last year, and they went the furthest of any of the teams in the playoffs. So we'll get to 9-4A Division II coming up right here. Let's look at how the district stands. We'll go back to our trustee.
Oops. Wrong district. Here we go.
There we go.
All right.
So West Orange Stark's win over Silsbee has given them the advantage. They lead the district here. Silsbee in 4th. They're tied with Hampshire Finette.
They'll probably be third. They'll be
beat
third.
Hampshire Finette, so they win that head-to-head. So they most likely will be 3rd. Hampshire Finette still has to play West Orange Stark in Week 11. So depending on how that goes, if it gives West Orange Stark their first loss in district play, who knows how Shepherd will finish up there. Shepherd's kind of stuck right in there in a tie in a tie there with the other teams. So we'll see how that goes. But West Orange Stark leading the district right now. Do you think they're going to go far? Let's take a look.
Yeah, we can take a look. Why not? You want to look at it? I can go first here if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
That sounds fun to me. Okay, let's go first. For me, West Orange Stark could make it far.
They could.
Silsbee could make it far.
Absolutely.
Shepherd could make it far, maybe. But I will tell you, the team that I think is going to make that run is the Hampshire Finette Longhorns.
Okay.
And once again, it kind of goes off of when I said about PNG is if you have a quarterback or you have a team that can dominate in the pass game, or I mentioned with Bridge City with you, with your point, if you have a team that can dominate in the pass game, they have a really good shot in the postseason. And I do think that Hampshire Finette's that. They had a tough loss against Silsbee.
Yeah.
They've changed things about their defense since that tough loss, and I think adapting is obviously a good thing. I think Coach Mark Wagner is one of the best coaches in Southeast Texas, and we're going to see how much they've adapted in that West Orange Stark game, because I do think that that's the next test they'll have. I believe they play Shepherd on Friday night. Then next week they'll play West Orange Stark. That would be West Orange Stark's must win to get the district. But I have no reason not to think Hampshire gets it. But it's also just the way that district goes. You mentioned it. It was last year we saw Silsbee make the run. The year before we saw Jasper make the run.
Oh, okay.
And so, but it's every year. It's whoever comes in third in that
my years
district.
mixed up,
That's
right?
fine. Okay. You've been doing it for 28, right?
You're right.
You have the third place team back-to-back seasons has made the farthest run.
Yeah.
If Hampshire Finette drops this one to West Orange Stark, now I don't want to go off of ifs, but if they do, they're going to come in third. Do I think they'll make the longest run? I've heard that's a coveted spot in that district.
Okay.
If you don't come in first, you want to come in third.
Okay.
And so I know they're not going to go out there with the intention of, hey guys, if we don't win this one, let's lose this one. What's it going to? But what I'm saying is, even if they drop that, I'm not going to waver in my opinion.
Okay.
Because I do know that spot has consistently helped teams make the deep run. I think this is a year we could see this district finally have a matchup in the 4th round. We've been waiting on that, or like a playoff game.
Yeah,
you know,
team out of this
we've come close. Well, match them up like a West Orange Stark Hampshire. That's what I'm saying. Like if they can meet in the 3rd or the 4th round, I think this could be the year we see one of those matchups in the postseason. But yeah, I got Hampshire for that. I think they'll make that run. I think they'll look really good once they hit the postseason.
That's fair. All right, I'm going to stick with who I think is going to win this district.
And that's fair.
I think West Orange Stark's going to finish first. They're going to face the 4th-place team out of the neighboring district there. I do think they're going to have playoff success. The thing with West Orange Stark, you talk about passing games, and what West Orange Stark does is shut those down. Their defense is fantastic. I think West Orange Stark's going to be able to hold their opponents to season lows maybe in the playoffs here. Teams that are unfamiliar with what that West Orange Stark defense can do. And they certainly have the weapons to be able to score some points as well. So I think West Orange Stark has the right mixture and the right recipe to have success once the playoffs start. As the number 1 team, they're going to get what should be the easiest path.
Right, should be the easiest path.
We'll see. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think that's fair. I will say with both these teams, Hampshire Met beat a ranked Hitchcock team. Mm-hmm. West Orange Stark struggled against a ranked Newton team.
Right.
And that's kind of what went into my decision between these two, because it was going to be one of these two at the end. But also, that was the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
what does that matter now?
It was game number 1.
It was game 1 for West Orange Stark. I think it was
West
3
Orange
for
Stark
Hampshire
team
Finette.
is gone.
And
this is a whole different team.
They do look a lot better right now. So it's going to be interesting. I did say at the beginning of the year, I thought West Orange Stark could be in the state championship game. I would love to see. Once again, I'm going to say about every single one of these teams. I'd love to see them there. I'd love to spend 3 straight days in Dallas.
Yeah, for sure. All right, District 10 3A Division 1 play right now. We already know the Hardin Hornets are going to win this district. Hardin out in front of...
Oh, yeah, let's open the right district, actually. My fault. I was looking at Newton's.
All right. We'll get to Newton just in a little
I'm
bit.
so excited. I love them.
It's all good. Hardin Hornets, they're undefeated, and they've got 1 game to go. They actually will have their bye. Oh, no, they've already had their bye.
They just came off their bye.
They just came off their bye. That's why. Okay. All right, so the Hardin Hornets are going to win this district. You've got East Chambers and Orangefield in our tailgate party game of the week coming up this week. They're battling for second place right now. And then you've got Anahuac that...
Greg Neese?
Yeah, Greg Neese.
And the Panthers?
And the Panthers could finish 4th in that district and head into the playoffs. So out of those 4 teams, who do we think is going to make the best run?
I don't know. We'll let you start with this
Okay, I'll start on this one. And I do think the Hardin Hornets. I think the fact that they're undefeated and having such a magical season, I think that's going to carry them a little further than they keep setting that record, keep setting that bar high. Yeah. I really think that they're going to be able to put it together and do well. They're not on the verge of being 10-0 by mistake. Mm-hmm. So they know what they're doing. They've got the talent to do it, and I really think that they're going to be able to do well.
Completely fair.
Yeah.
Once again.
Sure.
I want to be a little different, okay?
Yeah, okay.
I think Hardin's an easy pick. It is, because they're undefeated. But how do you pick against them?
They have never done it, though.
No, I know. No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. Oh, you made this pick. What I'm saying is, like, I feel like you're right, and I feel like everybody will think Hardin should make that run.
Yeah.
I got another team that I think could make a splash. I think a team that could shock people in the postseason, and it's Orangefield.
Yeah.
And I've picked in positive. I've put Orangefield in positive light every episode I can. Anytime I get a chance to talk about those guys, because I think Mason Manning, Caleb Menard, I think are 2 of the best players in Southeast Texas. Mm-hmm. And I think they're game changers once they get on the field.
Sure.
And so whoever they go against, I'm not worried, because you have those 2 guys.
Right. You
got Mason Manning, who can control the offense. Carson Gonzalez, by the way, fantastic quarterback. When he has to step up, he does. Mm-hmm. But Mason Manning can control the offense, and they'll have a great game. Caleb Menard has continued to be the stud on the defense, be the face of that defense, see the life of that defense. And if he keeps playing like that, I mean, how could I pick against those 2 guys individually? I don't know. Obviously, Hardin got the best of them, but, who knows? That's 1 game, right? If you play them 10 times, who wins the most out of 10?
Right.
And so I do think that Orangefield's got that chance where they can make a run. I know they fell short in the playoffs last year. They lost in the first round.
Yeah.
Some injuries got them, but maybe maybe this is the year they get back in there and they can do it.
All good points. And one thing I do want to point out that you had mentioned there is talent will get you so far. Things have to go right for a team, like for PNG or even Port Arthur Memorial. Things have to go your way. You have to get something that goes right for you to make a run at playoffs. You don't just get to. I mean, talent will get you far, but it's not talent alone that's going to see these teams have some success.
Yeah.
All right, we'll finish up 10-3A Division 2, and you took a peek at it earlier with the Newton Eagles. Newton going to run away with this district again for the 14th straight year.
Yeah,
I think it is something like that. So Newton not going to be challenged. They're facing Warren coming up this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Warren there at the bottom, they're a 72-point favorite taking on Warren. So Newton going to run away with this one. We've got Woodville, who made the run all the way to state last year. Nobody predicted that. Yeah. Woodville's going to finish second in this one. Kuntz looking good. Kuntz having some success this season. So they're going to finish third in Anderson Shiro or whoever else we've got. Take your pick, New Waverly or Trinity.
Yeah.
Coming in.
Someone's got to make it.
Someone's going to come in the fourth place team. But who do we have coming out of this district that we see having the most success? Man. You want to go first or you want me to?
I wonder who we'll have. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it out. Because, let's be honest.
Yeah, big surprise.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's Newton football. And they have looked really good this year. And, maybe Woodville makes that run again. I think Luke Babin's got all the makings of being a quarterback that can make a postseason run. But I do think I was very positive in my Newton's going to be in a state championship. I was saying that back in probably June.
Right.
And I'm not running away from it. I'm going to stick on that. I think they're going to play 6 weeks of playoff football. And I think if we're going to be for any team in Southeast Texas at a state championship game, I would bet on Newton.
Yeah. Yeah, I would too. I completely agree with that. I'd like to see the team that's going to beat Newton.
Exactly.
That's the thing. I can't think of a team out there that's going to be able to hold a team that's averaging 70 points a game to 20.
Yeah, win 62-0, and that's not even that great. You could have done better.
Right. Yeah, they could have done better. Yeah, they scored 72 the previous 2 weeks. 72, 72, 62. That's the last 3 weeks for Newton and what they've scored. Absolutely incredible. I sure hope that Newton finds playoff success. I've been here a long time. I've seen Newton win state championships. I know Coach Drew Johnston's been on the staff. He's been there. He's familiar with what that program has done and is capable of doing. And I think he's got the right mind frame, the right attitude. I think he's got the right staff there, the assistants there as well. So I think they have what it takes to make a run at state for sure.
Well, you talk about those 2 72-point performances as well. One of them was against a state-ranked Woodville team, and the other one, I believe, was against Kuntz, who was third in the district.
Right.
So, the only teams in the district that are winning games, Newton dropped 72 on their head.
Right.
I don't know how you beat
Newton
this team.
way up here and the other teams.
There is a massive gap. I mean, it's unfortunate, for that district because you have to play that team once a year. I know that sucks, but I can't. I agree with you. I just can't see anyone beating Newton, and maybe that's a yearly thing. And you did mention things have to go right for you. Actually, we brought James in here. I don't remember what team exactly he was talking about, but he was asking one of the coaches, "Hey, which one of these teams was your best team?" And he's like, "It's one of the ones that fell in the third round or something like that." Because that's just how it goes. A ball lands a certain way, or you don't make a play perfectly, and all of a sudden you're going home. And so, I do think Newton's got the chance to make the 6-game winning streak and win a state championship. It's just, will they?
Will they? Exactly. Yeah, that's the big question. So will any of these teams make it as far as we think that they're going to make it, have the best playoff success? It's just a wait and see. This is fun. This is just our opinions, and this is fun, and this is what we do here on the podcast. All right, you're listening or even watching the KFDM Sports Extra podcast. We'll talk about some Week 10 matchups straight ahead. We'll be right back.
Southeast Texans are passionate about their hometown team. Fully loaded with more scores, more interviews, and more games.
Follow us on Facebook, Insta, X, and KFDM.com.
Get the most complete coverage of your favorite Friday night rivalries.
Classic Southeast Texas presents the Friday Night Tailgate Party. Brought to you by 5 Point Credit Union. Catch it every Friday after KFDM 6 News at 10.
All right, we're back. Thanks for listening to the KFDM Sports Extra podcast, or watching if you're watching on YouTube, news on KFDM. I want to keep saying KFDM.com. Yeah. It's not there. It's not on the website. News on KFDM. Search that when you go to YouTube, and you'll be able to click on podcasts. You'll be able to see all of our podcasts we've done.
I think they do post a link to the podcast on our website.
Maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't go there first, but I'm going to look at that when we get out of this.
Also share it on Facebook as well if you want to go on Facebook and click that link. It'll take you to the YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah, there's different ways you'll be able to get it and see it. We appreciate everyone who's listening or watching as well. All right, it's week 10 of the high school football season. It's time for district championships to be locked up if they aren't already, and playoff spots to be won. It's a fun time of the year for sure. We'll start in District 9 5A Division 1. Port Arthur Memorial gets to be home against Baytown Sterling and finish a perfect season.
Yeah, they'll win.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for
Plain and simple.
Baytown Sterling.
Yeah,
I mean, because they're trying to fight for that playoff spot.
Right.
You don't want to play Memorial this late in the season when you're fighting for a playoff spot.
No, for sure.
No, Memorial should have that one locked down. They should have that one locked down.
All right, Westbrook looking to bounce back from their Beaumont Bowl loss. They're on the road at Galveston Ball.
That would be
Tough one.
a very disappointing loss if they lost to Galveston Ball.
Yeah.
I think they got it. I think they'll get the win, and we'll see how they finish the season after that. But I think they should beat Galveston Ball.
Yeah, a lot of promise early in the season for Westbrook.
I know. My heart hurts for Westbrook.
Yeah.
I hope. I don't exactly know if they're for sure out of it with the playoffs, because I think there's only a 1-game lead on them for everybody else. But it seems that way. I hope it's not. I'd love to see them find a way to make the playoffs still, but I don't think it is.
They're on the outside looking in right now. So yeah. All right. Also, we don't want to forget about Beaumont United. They get to be home this week, and they're taking on Lufkin. That's a big game for them to decide playoff seeding, because United's not in the playoffs just yet as well.
Yeah.
There's a tie there. There's a bunch of teams tied right there. So United, another win, if they could put a streak of 2 wins together and beat Lufkin, they'll lock up a playoff spot, which is great for that program.
Absolutely. They will 100% make the playoffs. So this is big. I saw they were only favored, Lufkin's favored by like 6. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
And
we hope so.
I agree.
Yeah.
I hope so too. Obviously, Westbrook took this team in overtime. Port Arthur Memorial just decimated them. So that's what we've seen from our local team from them.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Beaumont United, make it 2-1 for Southeast Texas against Lufkin, and hopefully they pull off the win there.
Yeah, let's hope they do it. All right. Moving down just to a different division, 8-5A Division 2. Both of our Mid-County teams, after the Mid-County Madness, the Bum Phillips Bowl and everything like that, they'll be on the road. PNG putting that perfect record on the line. They'll be at Montgomery. Montgomery is also 5-0 in district. They're not perfect overall, but both teams are 5-0 in 8-5A Division 1. Winner coming up this week will lock up the district.
Yeah, I don't know much about this Montgomery team other than they're undefeated in district.
They're the Bears.
Right. Okay, thank you. I know they're purple as well.
Yeah.
I was looking at, when we had the Max Preps pulled up, I was looking at their point averages, and it looks like they're scoring more than P&G, but they're allowing more than P&G. And so and this is just a guess, but if they're relying on their offense, not the team you want to rely on your offense against. And so if P&G can go out there and handle business like they've handled business every game this year, I think they got it. I wouldn't bet against P&G ever.
Yeah.
So I think they got it.
All right. Also in this district, another road game. Nederland will be on the road. They're at Huntsville. You sure would like to see Nederland finish the season strong.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think they're on a 4-game losing streak right now.
Right.
Like to find a win against Huntsville. Not an easy team, though.
No.
And especially, I believe you said on the road?
Yes.
Yeah, so not an easy game to win on the road. So I'd like to see him pull it off. Maybe we'll see a little bit more Jaden Ed this week. I know he was kind of getting a little active in there. He did get some snaps at Mid-County Madness.
Right, but we saw him on the sidelines, and he had a little limp.
He did.
Yeah,
but he was suited up. He wanted to get out there.
From
what I heard, a lot of people he was making it very vocal. He was going to try his best to get out there, but obviously not the way it went. Hopefully he's able to get out there this week, and maybe they can, win out for the rest of the year.
Yeah. All right. Well, we certainly hope so. All right, District 10 4A Division 1, we've got some good games coming up there. The Bridge City Cardinals will be home looking to rebound from their first loss of the season. They're taking on Liberty.
Ooh. I'm just kidding. They got it. They're good. They should win. Bridge City should get that good bounce back and
good bounce back game.
Prepare for that finishing game against
for
Suffolk.
sure. LCM gets to return home. They will host Huffman coming up this week. So that's a good one.
That is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Once again, this is where it gets important. You play these top teams in the district. We'll see how they handle Huffman, but if they handle them like they just played Bridge City, I think we should expect an undefeated finish from LCM.
Yeah.
They play that tough non-district schedule for a reason. It shows. It's shown back-to-back years now.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right, and they get to be at home for this one coming up this week.
Yeah.
All right, good games there. Lumberton, they're on the road. They're taking on Livingston.
Yeah, once again, I don't feel like it's not even – no concern.
Okay.
No concern. Lumberton's got it. I don't think
4 straight wins. dominant wins at that.
Make it 5 straight.
Make it 5
I don't
straight.
even think I don't think Livingston's won a game.
No, I don't think so.
So
no.
I don't think they're going to start with Lumberton on a 4-game winning streak.
Right.
So I think, once again, Nick Craddock, Chase Williams, I think they got it.
2 teams that I don't think are going to be one of the 4 playoffs teams. Hardin-Jefferson will be home against Vider.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that none of these teams are going to make the playoffs. I was really big on HJ.
Yeah.
All preseason.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. It's one of those. It's like, man, you kind of rooting for them. The underdog story. Both these teams have that for them. Vider is the best. They were the best 0-7 team I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Best 1-7 team I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
They're not a bad team.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing for Hardin-Jefferson. Their record does not really reflect how good of a team they are.
Well said.
And so we'll see. I think this could be a good matchup for both teams. We'll see who beats who, but it should be a good one.
Yeah, you just want them to finish out well. So get some wins in their final games in district play here. All right, we're going to move on to 9-4A Division II. West Orange Stark gets to be home. No, they're on the road. West Orange Stark's on the road. They're at Tarkington.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
West Orange got that. They're going to get to 4-0 in district.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we don't know a whole lot about Tarkington, but
no, they aren't winning.
They're not. Tarkington's not going to compete for that district title, and that's what West Orange Stark's going to do. Hopefully, they don't look ahead to their home game against Hampshire Finette in Week 11. Yeah. They take care of business coming up this week against Tarkington.
I believe 70-point favorites, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Hampshire Finette gets to be home. They're taking on Shepherd. Now, Shepherd's ahead of them in the district race as far as Max Preps is concerned.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well,
it should be interesting. It'll be fun. Good for Shepherd. I mean, they're a playoff team. Congratulations. When I did my district preview, I had a Shepherd kid or Shepherd coach quote tweet it, was like, all right, and tagging his players and stuff.
Ready.
And whatever. You proved me wrong. Maybe I should have talked to y'all. But whatever. Congratulations to them. They'll be a playoff team. I think Hampshire Finette will handle them though this week.
Yeah, very good. All right, and Silsby gets to be home. They're taking on Jasper.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I was about to take a sip of water. It's unfortunate for Jasper. I believe they're still winless, at least in district play.
Yeah.
I think they're 1 win on the year. So,
Yeah, they've had an uncharacteristic season. They've struggled, certainly, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
you would think.
Good luck with the rest of your season on that one. But I do think that
Silsby's going to win out in
this
that one.
Get a bounce back win.
And they're headed to the playoffs for sure. All right, 10-3A Division I, our game of the week. It's going to be a good one. It's for playoff seeding, not for the district championship, because Hardin is going to win 10-3A Division I, but we've got Orangefield at East Chambers.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's kind of a...
It's a toss-up. I think it is. I am obviously very in favor of Mason Manning and Orangefield and Caleb Menard and Carson Gonzalez and Coach Bro. I think he's great. But Coach Sutherland over there at East Chambers.
Yeah, hitting a milestone win this season with 200 wins. So that's a tough one. I would say it's a toss up. Maybe give the advantage to the Bucks because they're home.
Maybe. Does home field advantage matter that much, especially at the 3A level?
I don't
understand.
know.
You don't want to play at PNG or Memorial,
just the
but
familiarity in your own locker room and
maybe so. Yeah,
things like that.
They didn't play Hardin awfully when I went to go watch them.
Yeah,
played them as good as I think a team can play Hardin in that district.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be interesting. It is. It's a lot on the line. You obviously would much rather come in second than third. So. Good luck to both those teams.
Be a good game. Do we want to talk about any other in 10-3A Division I? Beaumont gets to be home against Kirbyville.
It could be interesting.
Yeah.
Kirbyville actually played East Chambers really well last week. It was 58-52 was your final.
Yeah.
It's good for them. I've had them in my top 6 plays a couple times this year. Kirbyville, I like them.
Yeah.
I like them. They send me plays. They're nice. So good luck to you guys.
All right, and we'll just go ahead and mention that Hardin gets to be home against Cold Spring Oakhurst.
Okay.
We think Hardin will be able to run away with that one, and they're well on their way to winning district. All right, 12-3A Division II play. The Newton Eagles home, 72-point favorites against Warren.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Coons fighting for a playoff spot. They're locked in. They're at New Waverly, and that's one of the teams that
it's
could
also
move
fighting
up.
for a spot. Yeah, it's a must-win for New Waverly. I think Koontz has gotten their spot locked in. I mean, they are going to be a playoff team. I believe even if they lose out, they should be locked in a good spot. So, but I think they're going to win again. I think there's a gap between Newton and the rest of them, but there's a gap between Woodville and Koontz, and then the rest of the people under that. And I think Coons has got this one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we can talk about some of our 2A teams. District 12 2A Division 2, West Sabine coming off their River Bowl win, or
District win.
District win.
Yeah,
That's
they just
right.
won district.
Yeah,
right?
Evadale and Deweyville play in the River Bowl. I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, the West Sabine winning district. They're at West Hardin coming up this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to win out. They're in a good spot. They'll win district. They won district. Congrats to them.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be fine for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for sure. And Evadale will be at Coleman.
Yeah, good luck to them too.
Yeah, the Rebels.
I guess that's first and second. I think it was a pretty sizable gap between them and then the rest of the district record-wise. So that is first and second. So congrats to Evadale. Congrats to West Sabine.
And best of luck.
Good luck in the playoffs.
Yeah, good luck in the playoffs. You want to talk about a 1A six-man game coming up this week?
Yeah, let's hear it.
They're undefeated in district play. Burkeville will be at Chester. Burkeville at Chester. The winner there, you've only got 2 more games to go, so the winner there will win district.
Yeah. Chester's a tough team.
Yeah.
Came and played Beaumont Legacy, who was on a pretty good run and smoked them.
Yeah.
So going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Chester definitely don't look like an easy team to play.
Yeah, for sure.
So good luck to Burkeville.
All right, Kelly,
in
TAPS district play, Kelly gets to be off this week. Week 10 to have a bye week, but all right, so they'll be back in action in district play next week. And six-man play, Legacy Christian gets to be home against Bryan Allen Academy.
I think that's the good school. I think they're good.
Bryan Allen Academy.
I can't remember. Coach did tell me there's a school that comes to play them. That's like kind of like a rival, and that's a tough game. And I feel like it's this one, but I might be wrong. Regardless, hey, let's go Beaumont. Let's go West. I'm going to root for them every time. I'm going to root for Beaumont.
The local team, for
love
sure.
Beaumont.
All right, that's week 10. We'll have it all for you coming up on the KFDM Friday night tailgate party. Friday nights at 10:35 on KFDM Channel 6. Week 10 already. Yeah. We'll only have one more week of our tailgate party to look forward to coming up next week. All right, thanks so much for listening or watching. This is the KFDM Sports Extra podcast. Cam and I will be back next week. Bye.
Thanks for watching the KFDM Sports Extra with Mike Friedman and Cam Sanderson.